What's good, YouTube? It's Ray Drill. So, in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about a simple but effective defensive scheme in Madden 23. So, if you enjoy this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So, I plan on this being a really quick video that's going to show you guys a nice defensive scheme that you can run that will win you a lot of games in Madden. So it's a really nice formation. The formation is dime normal. If you guys have been OGs or if you've been following my channel for at least about a year now, you guys know that I love running dime normal. It's just now starting to get the credit it deserves. I always talked about this defense even 2 Maddens ago about how great this defense is, and finally glad that it's actually, you know, starting to appeal to more people now. So anyways, first thing you have to understand with this defense is personnel. I cannot stress that enough. So real quick, what I need to do is actually bring you to the depth chart mode, and let's go to it with the other controller, so that way we have the defensive controller, because that one was the offensive controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the depth chart, and then we're going to take a look at our defensive depth chart. Now with your ends, you just want to put your best ends in right here. It doesn't matter. Now, middle linebackers, you normally want to put either your best or your fastest. So in this case, I would have taken William Gay and put him up here, but you'll see why I didn't do that here in a second. Same thing with your outside linebacker for the right. Now, cornerbacks. This is self-explanatory. Your 4 best cornerbacks need to be in this spot. These 2 don't matter, but 1 and 2 definitely matter. Now, free safety, you want your fastest, free safety player, your number one strong safety needs to be in the number 1 spot. Now, this is where things can alter a little bit. So for rush left end, you really want to put, so for example, if I had a really great linebacker that's great at pass rushing, like somebody like a Micah Parsons, right? So I would put him right here in this spot. I would just have my 2 best rushers right here, right? Now, on sub linebackers, this is going to be your user. So this person needs to be somebody that's fast, that you can move around with, somebody that's tall, maybe somebody that hits hard, maybe a Deion Jones, or if you didn't have a good, safety, then I would do Deion Jones. But if you have a decent safety with some speed, put it here. Whoever you can use that gives you the best advantage, okay? That's who you want to put in this spot right here. Now, your slot cornerbacks is really important, so that way you don't have to set this up when you do your defense. So these 2 spots need to be where your 3rd string corner and your 4th string corner go, or the 2 players that you believe you want on the outside. So if maybe you want a whole lot of speed, then of course, well, they don't really have a lot of speed here, but I would personally put Jalen Watson here, and then in the number 2 spot I will put Joshua Williams. Now, why these 2 players in particular? They have 89 speed, so they're fast enough excel. And then also what's really important here, a lot of people don't pay attention to, is actually you want to look at the zone coverage, honestly, because that's what you really want. So notice how they have 76 and 71. So I mean, they can get the job done. It's okay. We're not asking them to play man a lot of times. We're asking them to play zone. So we really need somebody who's fast. The press also can make a difference too. But that's pretty much all you need. Every now and again I look at pursuit, but like I said, it's just not necessary in Madden. So when you set it up that way, what happens here is that you get this style of personnel look where we have our user right here, and we're going to have our 3rd and 4th string cornerbacks where 23 and 35 is. So our 3rd string, and then our 4th string goes right here. And then as you guys know, the safeties in the corners, they're going to be, who you rock with. Now, what I was telling you right here is in these 2 spots right here, you need to have your best 2 pass rushers here. And the only reason why is because there's going to be different things we can do with these outside guys. So this guy right here, and also William Gay, there's different things we can do. So I love that player to be an athlete in that position. I don't want somebody that's super slow who can only pass rush, or I just want people who can, quarterback contain really well, or put them in a quarterback spy if I need to. So that's why you want some athletes out there, okay? Now, the only players we're going to take a look at in today's video is going to be this DB Blitz 0. We're going to take a look at cover 4 quarters, or you could do the same thing out of palms because they do have palms. But cover 4 quarters or cover 4 palms we're going to look at, and that's pretty much going to be it. And you guys will see why I say this is a really good defense. Now you can definitely use it in these other plays. Not knocking these other plays, but it's just a scheme that I wanted to show you. So what we're going to do here is, before we come out anything, this is going to be a coverage defense, okay? So this defense, also I do have an ebook on this particular formation. So if you're interested in the ebook, make sure you go to my website, allthingsmadden.com. The link is in the description, and it'll be uploaded straight into your account right after you pay. No need to wait, no need to get an email. It's going to be right there for you to access. So yeah, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to coaching adjustments. Now, what I like to do is set a base zone drop. if I decide I want to play zone drop. But this is my base defense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my flats either on 15 or 20. It really just depends, up to you. Sometimes I like to standard leave it at 20, and then I put the curl flats on 5. I normally don't touch hook zones unless I just feel the need to, and I don't mess with the zone coverage. You guys can play around with that if you want to. I just personally don't. So what I'm going to do here is go to code for palms. And again, you really want to run this defense versus spread formation. So if somebody comes out in I form close or single back, whatever, unless it's like a single back trip style, I'll try it. But any I form or any pistols, you know, like your close pistols or anything like that, don't run it against it. Just, you know, I love to run this versus spread formation, so make sure you do only try to focus on spread. So we'll take a look at just something common that you'll see. So we'll go with doubles. Why off? Why not? Well, you really want to try to run this when you know they're not blocking 7, but we'll still just call it. So we'll just take a look at just option, just picking a play, because the formation doesn't matter that your offense comes out in, as long as you're not trying to run this versus an under center formation. You're going to be fine running this defense because it's just what it's designed for. So we'll just leave the ball in the middle, right? So my favorite base defense is you don't have to press. Now you don't have to press, but I actually like to walk the cornerback that's on the opposite side of the running back, the slot cornerback. So in that case, it's going to be this guy right here. So I clicked him so he may not move. And this is where our other cornerback is, by the way. So what I like to do is I like to press triangle. I press X for individual. I press triangle, and I will press him. So notice how he moves closer to the line of scrimmage. So you might be wondering, why even worry about that? So sometimes on this game, when you press your cornerback, sometimes they do get burnt. So I'm trying to get out the habit of pressing every time. Because you're just setting yourself up, especially for the new Madden, you're setting yourself up. Now, from this point, I like to actually deep half both my cornerbacks, and this is just a preventative measure. So I'll take circle, throw him on the deep half, and then I'll take square, throw him on the deep half, right? And then lastly, I'll take one of my 2 safeties, and I'll put them in the inside third. So a couple things I like to do, right? So next, I'll actually start off, if I want to play straight coverage, I have options now. So what I mean by that is I can actually shade my coverage down. And remember, our flats are playing at 20. So what I can do here is I can shade down, and I can take that cornerback up top X, and I can actually do whatever I want with him. So I can either man him up to somebody, you know, put him in a hook zone if I want to, but I normally like to take him and put him in a purple. And so what that means is he's going to play at 5. He's going to play at 20. Now, you're more than welcome to flip these. If you want to flip them, just go ahead and call shade down. And then I like to shade back up to tell my coverage to play over the top. And then I can actually take X and just throw him in a purple. So, well, I did that backwards, actually. Sorry. We'll do it this way. So we shade up, and then we'll take our other side R1 here, put him like that. They aren't going to let me change it, but he's in the purple, okay? Oh, there it goes. Now, I like to do this where I'll actually just blitz triangle. And basically what we're going to have here is just a simple zone coverage. Or, again, we don't have to blitz them. We could just keep them in the hard flat. All right, here we go. And basically all this is just your coverage defense. And we actually get a nice little blitz off the edge. And this is why this formation is really dangerous, by the way, because there's a lot of things that we can do. So basically what happens here is, what I should say is, when we just play standard coverage like this, then we're playing at 20. And basically what happens here is it's regular cover 4 drop. So notice how obviously the flats are going to be open. That's because we wanted them at 20. And the reason why I put my purples at 5 is because this is just a great do-nothing defense. You can technically run it just like this. And what's going to happen is that they're just going to play at 5 yards. So notice how you're going to be responsible for the middle, and you get a solid pass rush of 4 people. So now if you don't want to deep half both cornerbacks, some things I like to do too is pinch my line to where they look like this. And then what I like to do is just take one of the sides that I feel like a bomb might happen to, and I'll deep half that guy. And I'll do it like that. Or you're more than welcome to run it to where you have 2 of your safeties up top. And it's more of like a preventive style defense. But you can also just blitz them from that far depth with this guy right here. It's just, it doesn't get home as well. It still can, as you can tell, he still does loop around, but I just personally like to press him to put him at the line of scrimmage. I feel like it helps better with that. So that's one of my favorite coverages to play. My second favorite coverage, if I want to kind of protect some, I'll actually play cover 2 on one side of the field. So I'll take circle, put him in a cloud, and I'll take X, put him in the deep half. And it's not going to show right now, but we'll take L1, put him in the, I want it to show. So what I'm going to do here is just throw this ball away because I want you guys to see the setup more than anything so you can visually understand why I'm telling you that. So this is one of my other favorite things to do. Now this time I will normally press, or you can individually back them off if you want to. So to do that, you press triangle, press X, whoever you want to back off. In this case, it was circle. Let's do square just to show you, and then notice how we flick up for back off, and that's how you do that quick. Okay, so what I like to do is set up cover 2. Remember, our flats are at 15 or 20, our purples are at 5, and we put him in a deep half so that way he can play that. Now there are a lot of things you can do out of this defense, which is why I really love it, but you can play a base coverage that looks like this. You can get crazy with this, honestly, but I'm gonna go ahead and blitz triangle just to kind of show you. Now sometimes when I run this defense, I do like to do a double-sided blitz. Now if I do that and people are bunched up, just go ahead and base the line and then actually just go ahead and press if they are actually bunched up at the line. So now notice how they're spread out, and I can move my user wherever I want to. I normally like to stand right here, and this is kind of like, you know, an aggressive style defense, if you will, because we're giving up this left side. Now if you don't like that, one thing you can do, it's a risky defense, but it can be effective a lot of times. It's just literally going to be this right here. It's your simple cover 2, but they're going to be playing at 15 to 20, so you just have to, you have a lot to cover, but again, you don't have to hover the line or anything. You're just it's more so trying to just prevent the opponent from doing anything, right? Now again, what this can also go into, you can also go to DB Blitz 0, and notice how it's not that much of a change. We can go ahead and press, and now we can shade over the top, and we can pinch our line if we want to, and essentially we just created a, you know, a man blitz where we're going to be able to just scream at him. Now obviously I'm responsible for R1. That's why I actually like to do this as well whenever I start man blitzing. I'll go ahead and press, and then a lot of times I like to back off my corners if I can. You might be saying, "Real, why is that?" And it's only to keep the defense looking the same. We want it to look similar to zone coverage. So what we can do here is a lot of times I'll take this R1 and I'll actually put him in a hard flat, which is a purple. Now he isn't going to do it now because it's practice mode things where they don't do it, but you'll see it here in a second. We'll go ahead and snap the ball. So notice how now he's in the purple, and then this is just banking on the fact of them putting their running back on like a flare route. Okay, so as you can tell, I really love doing that. And what that also transitions into, you can also just call a regular base cover 2. You could baseline press to get that guy to be outside. You could back him off still if you want to, and you could really just run a normal style cover 2 if you want to. This is something that you definitely can do. And if I want to run a normal style cover 2, I like to just take the opposite, actually the same side to the running back. A lot of times I like to blitz him, and it's going to force the opponent to have to make a read. Now every now and again I do like to put zeros at my hard flats for my corners and back them off, and what happens is they're going to be extremely aggressive against that. But if you do that, you really only want to do that whenever you have one side receiver to the solo side, because if you do, you can do something like this where you can man him up and you can put that flat at 0, and what that does is now you're pretty much just responsible for if that tight end happens to run a seam or anything. But keep in mind, we're going to be running a blitz. Okay, so like to pinch my line still, and if you're going to do that, you kind of just watch tight end. Okay, tight end didn't go seam. Okay, I'm going to kind of go over here look for something to work, you know. So it's just a high risk, high reward style defense. But you guys can see why I say that you want your 2 best pass rushers in the interior, and you also, don't forget, you also can quarterback spy if you want to, and then that way we're going to have just a solid defense. So I mean, this is just a simple video. No reason to get all, you know, techie with it, but you can do something simple like this. And also you can run a cover 3 style too. I just like to run it from a cover 4 drop style defense, which I'm gonna throw this out because I want to show you how I like to do cover 3 if I want to do cover 3. So it's basically, you could call cover 3 for sure. Like if you want to, you can go cover 3 buzz press, which is probably the fastest way to do it. And you can run it literally just like this. I like, if I'm going to run cover 3, I like to deep half both of my cornerbacks, and that way we're not going to have to worry about getting our cover 3 bombed for a 1-play touchdown. So again, you can run it like this. And you also have the option, let's baseline press to move him. You also have the option, if you have an athlete here or an athlete here, you can run a double Mabel style defense, which is things I like to do every now and again. Or so basically what we'll do is we'll double tap the left directional, select circle. We could put him on a cloud. If I'm gonna do that, I like the quarterback contain, and I like to have my best pass rusher here. So in this case, I would flip these two. So I will put Jones here, and I'll put Clark here. And the reason why is because then the solo pass rusher is my best player instead of having my best player on a spy, if that makes sense. So that's the way you can do it. Or if you want to, let's go and crash him up to get him out of that. You can also just take square. You can just throw him in a spy, and now you have the freedom to go play any of the flat routes that you want. So you can do it this way where we're going to rush past, rush 3 people. So we can come out here and play the flats if we want to, and then we have the option to go back up. Now, why do I have the option to play the flat, you might say? Some of you guys are quick on it, some of you guys might not be. But the reason why is because this guy is going to get right in this window. So a lot of times he'll help cover any drags, any quick slants he'll help out on. And then that allows us the freedom to go play something in the flats and then work back to kind of cover this area. So just if you wanted to flash out here, maybe your opponent loved hitting this running back route, so just a different variation where now instead of rushing 4 or rushing 5, we're only going to rush 3. And we got a nice athletic, keyword athletic spy, because you're going to have somebody as an athlete here in next gen Madden. So anyways, that's the wrap up for this video. I didn't mean this video to be 16 minutes long, but I just wanted to explain to you guys why I love this defense. And again, if you want more on this defense, I have an ebook on my website, allthingsmadden.com. Link is in the description. But that's gonna wrap up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell.